Well, hey, hello, hi, my name is Andrew Chiles, and you're watching Call Me After, the Call Me Mother review show, or after show. And to this week, we have NewFound Lad and also Madam Daddy.
Hello, bud. How we doing?
What was your little, going away story, if you don't mind me asking?
I kind of didn't tell much of any story because I've done a lot of touring as a burlesque dancer, as a contemporary dancer. Like, me going away was kind of really normal in our scene and normal for my life. Like, I had a performance in my hometown of Corner Brook right before we went to set. So I just went to Corner Brook. I was like, I'm going to be there for a couple of weeks, guys. Don't worry about it.
Just vanished into the mist.
Did you have any suspicion of anything, Madam Daddy, or were you told a little NDA secret?
I am extremely gullible, so I kind of noticed that, Lad was, they went to Corner Brook and they were kind of quiet for a bit, so I assumed, they're probably just, visiting family and, having a good time. Similar to another friend of mine who also went to film a TV show. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have such a great time filming that Christmas movie. It's great. I'm so happy for them. So I was completely oblivious, which made it great when I finally heard the news that this human was on Call Me Mother. It was all that more exciting.
Yeah, very exciting to have not only just one Newfoundland performer being casted on a TV show, but having two is pretty big, especially for such a, not to be rude, but such a smaller place, that you feel that you have so much to root for, especially in two people.
No, it's absolutely true. And it's not rude at all. It is a much smaller place. And we're both from here. We know what the reality of being from here is like. And growing up here, you didn't see a lot of visibly queer people. So getting myself and Irma Gerd this year and other young Newfoundlanders can see that and see that we can have these queer lives here is really fucking cool.
Are you a part of the Phlegm Fatales also?
I am the resident father figure of the Phlegm Fatales.
Okay, so is Irma then a daughter or child of yours?
No. We, in I guess the traditional sense, you would say she's a mother, but mother ages her. Irma is the matriarchal figure of the Phlegm Fatales, and then there's the rest of her children, goblin, hatchling things, including, of course, myself, Ida Kumquat, /Garbage File, Lizelle Hughes, Witch Hazel, and Omni 95. The six of them were all performing at a bar named Treble, which was around back in the day. Very small, intimate bar where Irma would just host screenings, and they all kind of converged together and, we're doing performances together, and it just eventually fell into place. And shortly after they formed the Phlegm Fatales, I popped up and started doing weird, wacky shit because I saw a bunch of them doing weird, wacky shit. And months later, at a All Stars 4 finale screening, Irma asked me to join the Phlegm Fatales. And in my head, my imposter syndrome was like, are you sure? But on the outside, I was like, yes, absolutely. I would love to be a Phlegm Fatale.
Well, that's so nice. And it's so good to have kinship and family that you can resonate with and be able to hang out with and also create things with. So I'm glad that you have that ability with at Phlegm Fatales. Go follow them. So with season 2, episode 1 of Call Me Mother, we start out finding out that the House of Glass is looking for some fashion, subversion, and punky aesthetics, while Harmony is just really a loving and supporting mother. The way that they did this editing was a little harsh because Dual Set gets art activism and a swift right hook. The way that they described it was 1, 2, 3, and then there was just hi, I'm a loving mother.
That's so true.
The one thing that I also really enjoyed that they have continued the tradition with from season 1 is that they're doing a hypercut of all the people who have auditioned. Now, I know obviously NewFound Lad, you have auditioned. Madam Daddy, do you plan on audition? Have you auditioned?
I have not auditioned because in the past, competitions have scared the poop out of me. But especially seeing Lad, just absolutely shine on the stage. And of course, seeing the success that, Newfoundland drag artists that are now, being brought into the spotlight. I've definitely had it in my mind to audition for season 3 if it comes about. But yeah, we'll definitely see what the future holds for sure.
Personally, I would love to see that.
We start to get a little bit of the intros of all the divas who are joining into the competition, starting off with Michaela Couture. I think that this was very iconic to have her walk in first, so that way they could kind of like set a precedence to this season, seeing as how she's already been on another drag reality TV show. Now,
yeah, I was not surprised in the slightest when Michaela was the first person in that edit. I was like, this makes sense. She's the name. She's the icon. Like,
she's the moment.
We need to show Michaela first.
Yes.
Now, was that all editing or was that actually done in order?
That's hard because that part is just like, we don't actually walk in straight from that. Like they film that us all arriving, but it's more of a pre-filmed cute moment.
Next up, we have Jessie Precious. Following up, we have the resident icon, NewFound Lad.
Yes.
And following suit, we have Phoenix Black. And then we have Amara, whose look really surprised me and actually kind of reminded me of Narcissa Wolf from last season.
I totally see that. And speaking to Amara, I've actually known Amara the longest of anyone in the cast. I met her back in like 2013 or 2014 and saw her win Cruise and Tango's Drag Race back then.
Word.
So when I heard through the grapevine that Amara maybe was going to be on season 2, I was a little intimidated, I gotta say.
Beyonce Knows is next to follow suit. And then we have the Stony Mac from Saskatoon.
Pepper from...
Oh yeah, Stony's amazing. I got to actually see Stony perform for the first time when they first started drag and actually won the Miss Divas competition in Saskatoon.
Amazing.
Yes.
Stony's a fucking icon. I cannot wait to see what else he does.
We have the Edmonton icon Pepper. I'm very happy to see more Alberta representation after having Valerie Hunt from last season.
And Felicia Bonet.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't forget Felicia Bonet. Weeby is next, as well as Maya Fox, the Halifax diva. Je ne sais pas, the one who's been on this TV show once before, just working backstage. Champagne, looking stunning and beautiful. I love this eye makeup. And then King Chella, I love having someone walk in with the crown because they know that they want to leave with the crown. Justin a bit, and lastly, Miss Shady. Out of all of these looks, obviously you're a little bit biased, NewFound Lad. Which was your favorite?
Definitely, I'm gonna say Michaela and Phoenix. When I saw those two looks, I was like, and no shade to season 1 whatsoever, because like they went in not knowing what they were going into. Like Michaela and Phoenix's looks were a step up. I was like, y'all spent money. I have brought an outfit I've been wearing for years.
I mean, Kiki Ko she served fucking hard last season.
I will say, yeah, Kiki Ko and Hercules knocked their looks out of the park. But like in this premiere alone, like Michaela's look, Phoenix's look, Miss Shady's look, Seance's look. I was just like, I'm sure there's more I'm not even thinking of in this moment.
It's already so strong, the fashion of this season and just the cast overall. It's crazy.
The one thing that I found very interesting that I preferred that they did was what was different from last season is that you weren't allowed to clack your fan on the look. I thought that that was a very smart change that was kind of necessary because it gave a little bit of an unbiased or maybe a very biased precedence to the entire situation. Having people show their talent, I think that's drag. That's what is necessary for drag. So to be able to have this change up from last season to this season of not being able to clack during the look, I love.
I completely agree. And I very much went in there thinking it was going to be like last year. And I decided against going way, way, way over the top of my first look. Not that I thought I was going to get picked from look. It's just not my like performances where I land. But I was not missing out on doing my talent. Because I think of Rosie last year, who didn't get to do her talent because she got picked from her look and then never really got to showcase how good of a performer she is. And I'm like, I'm going to get to show them that I can goddamn perform.
So that's why you had the full 3-part reveal just for the look.
Jacket and some tearaway pants.
Now, were you instructed to have 2 separate looks, or was this kind of a suggestive thing?
Like as in between runway and talent?
Yes.
It was basically put in there that we could have 1 or 2 looks for the first episode, but it was more pushed towards 2. And like any chance to show off something else I had, I was going to do it. So not that the second look was an over-the-top thing, it was more of a character thing, but I was going to wear 2 different outfits.
I think that's another thing that I enjoyed from last season to this season is that it was a little bit more pushed, because during the first season, it really wasn't pushed that they needed to have 2 separate looks. It was kind of like, if you want. But I think what wasn't fair to the first season is that they weren't being told that that was going to be their promo looks. At least you having seen season 1, you would at least have some kind of an indication that this is what I want to be represented as my look.
Yeah, based on the package we were told to bring, I was like, okay, that's most likely going to be my promo look. That's what people are going to see first. It's signature me. This is okay. So it was nice knowing that going in after watching season 1.
Totally.
Now, did you specifically have the option of wearing your first look or your first reveal, your second reveal, or your final reveal, or did it have to be your final reveal?
It really could have been my choice. And I was wearing the pants for the promo look. There's no full body shot out yet. But I decided I didn't want the jacket in it because I felt it looked stronger without it.
The sailor suit with the pasties is like quintessential lad, I feel.
Yeah. So I felt like head to toe, that looked better. And like Quentin, the photographer who's on set, who's fantastic, was asking me like, do you want to wear the jacket? Do you want to hold the anchor? What do you want to do? So it was very much like up to my own artistic interpretation.
Love it.
If you look closely at my promo image, though, you can see part of my hat got lost at sea.
What do you mean by that?
As in, it got lost in the editing. There's only half a hat in that image. But it's all here, I promise.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No hat reveal. You saw it here first.
It's with Eureka's finger somewhere.
Did you have any indication that it was going to be the same judges or mothers, or would you have been told that it might have been different?
Secretly, I was hoping they would have had added another parent and had 4 and had a king parent.
I think so too. I think I would really enjoy that. It's just, it doesn't necessarily fit with the title of Call Me Mother, obviously.
Doesn't fit with the title, but like, whatever. Call me daddy. Call this one daddy.
Call me daddy.
So for the talent portion, Phoenix Black is doing a lip sync / dance and ends up getting adopted into the House of Glass.
So Phoenix was on the acting because when someone went out to do their talent and came back, like they were on hard ice when they came back. And hard ice means you can't talk for the reality show and people can't talk to them. So Phoenix Black came back in and looked so deadpan. I was like, oh my God, she didn't get picked from her talent.
Right.
Obviously, I was wrong. She was the first person to get picked.
So what do you know if this was filmed and edited in order, or was it manipulated?
This is not the order.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It felt too like highs and lows for it to be. And even when Stony Mac got accepted into the House of Glass, was it that one?
Yeah.
It did like the photo was the third photo, and it was like there was an empty photo in the second, and I was like, manipulation.
This is not the order. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was 11th for runway and other thing.
Talent. There you go.
Maybe I was 12. I think it was 12. Yeah, because it was Amara, Jesse, and King Chella after me.
So was the look to the talent done in the same order?
It was, and I wish it had been done in the soft order because waiting both times to go 12 was very draining.
Yes, you get to watch everybody else succeed, and then you felt as if you just got locked down further even more.
Yep, and especially going 12th in talent, I was like, oh my God, all of these people are probably getting picked right now, and there's less and less spots because I'm going later. Mm-hmm. But you can't guess what's happening.
Now that you have gotten to see everybody's talent, is there any one or two that stood out to you?
Who stood out? Amara. She's literally drag perfection in my eyes.
She looked so gorgeous. It shook me. I was not expecting that from her.
Yeah, the feather fans, that split when she bounced up and down, Crystal throwing her tit at her. Like, I wanted to throw all my money at the screen and just give Amara everything she deserves.
Agreed.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Even just like the way she entered with just like such poise and just like, I know the exact effect that I'm going to have on all of you bitches. It was just like, yes, we love to see it.
I also do need to shout out how good King Chella looked at the end with everything off, just covered in food. I was like, yep, you're an icon. I love this so much.
Yeah, that is definitely a performance that I would love to see, and the way that I would be throwing my money at the food being thrown. Like, the strawberries and the apple, like, splash, that was it for me. That was, like, over the top camp.
Yeah, people thought they had, like, fresh fruit for us backstage, but then they're like, no, don't eat that. That's gone bad. It's used in a talent.
So it was rotten fruit. Love that. Even better.
It was not good to eat. None of us ate it, thank God.
King Chella was doing a full extermination challenge from Dragula on Call Me Mother.
Yeah.
One of the ones that stood out to me, I think, was Seance's performance of having all the illustrations in the story time. That level of stupidity in camp is like my absolute favorite. And the second that I saw Peppermint's bosoms, I was like, clack that shit, mama. Like, that is gold.
Yeah. Seance's eye for detail and like all of that aspect of their artistry is just so good. It was so nice to see all of the illustrations, because I hadn't seen them until this moment. We didn't get to watch either of the talents.
Another one that kind of stood out to me, and I'm not too sure if it stood out in the best way personally, is that I don't think Stony Mac's puppetry was as amazing as it seemed to be portrayed or conceived. It was still fantastic. I just personally don't think it was worthy of 3 clacks.
I can only speak to what we saw in the edit. I don't know if like the 1.5 minute performance got edited down in necessarily the best way, because like whatever they did live was worth that through those 3 fans. So
that's actually very fair, because there is definitely some things that get edited out.
Yeah, my talent got chopped around a little bit. Like, there's some more floor work that I did. There's some other words I said at the beginning of my speech. And, like, that's just what they got to do. There's 15 of us and, like, 64 minutes to showcase all of that.
Yeah, very fair. But I do love the Newfoundland dick. That was everything for me.
I really enjoy taking, like, the gold part of the flag and turning it into a phallus. I was like, yep, this makes sense. And also, it was fun seeing my ass on TV.
It's always fun seeing your ass anywhere.
Thank you. Right back at
you get a whole new appreciation for that booty, because you only get so many limited views of your own butt. So to actually have someone like film your butt, you're like, oh, okay, booty.
Yep. I also fully forgot that if you don't get a fan during your performance, you have to leave and you don't get feedback. So I was just like standing there basically naked waiting for them to say something.
What do you think, guys?
What do you think? What do you think of that? Genuinely, when I did it, I was like, I killed that. I knocked it out of the park. Where's that? There's the fan. And then it didn't happen. And Dallas was like, you can go. I was like, okay. Like, cut that part.
I mean, probably better that they did cut that part.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I probably looked very confused.
Do you think that having the lights go down on Justin a bit was to their detriment?
Yeah.
It's the double look at each other for me.
We telecommunicated
really
at the moment. I feel like what he was trying to do was definitely very different, but I think the lights going down and just, I guess, the optics of, with the props that he was using, it was definitely a detriment. I felt so bad because I could tell that this is like a very enthusiastic and, really rapidly growing performer. And it's like, I almost wish they would have like, I don't know, did they give you like any second option for talent? Because like it would have been amazing if they could have just, oh, the lighting wasn't great in this. Do you want to like try something else?
Yeah.
Yes, like how in the other show they tend to do 2 takes of things so that way they can take the best out of the best. Or if someone fucked up, then they can just take that.
Yeah. We only get one run of the talent. Like, that's it and done. I don't know what it was for season 1 when there was 10 of them, but for 15 of us, 1 and done.
For timing's sake,
it was 1 and done for season 1 too. If you had gotten the choice of all 3 fans clacked for you, who would you have chosen as your mother?
Going into the competition, I was like 100% game for like Crystal. I was like, I want to be in glass. I feel like of the three of them, she will get what I'm going for the most. And also, she was born in Newfoundland.
What?
Oh, yeah. She's technically the first Newfoundlander on Drag Race.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Newfoundland, then moved to Halifax, right?
Yeah, so she was here for like maybe a year. So like I asked her this backstage off camera, and she was like, she doesn't really identify with it because she wasn't raised here.
Totally. My God.
I know.
Hell, small world.
It really is. I think St. John's.
Imagine.
Now, after tea time, we unfortunately have some poor news that Newfound Lad, King Chella, as well as Champagne do not get adopted. However, Seance, Jenna, and Justin do get adopted. When you had to do your makeup removal, how did that feel for you?
Well, I guess emotional, but like also I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to look insane while talking at the end of this journey. So I was just like very strategically like, okay, I'm gonna rub this off. I'm gonna rub this off. I'm just gonna leave the rhinestones and color on my eyes until the very end.
That's actually very smart to do, and I admittedly absolutely hate that they do the makeup removal, because that's not when people are feeling their best. That's like on the other TV show. That's when they're having their like camp stupidity time of like throwing tits at each other. So it's just like to have it be such a more of a somber moment and I guess more editorial, directorial. It just, I can understand how much pressure that can put on the person. And so I just want to reach out and say that you are an amazing drag performer. And I'm glad that we do have more mask presenting and performers being exemplified, especially this show. We had four masculine presenting performers. And I think that that's amazing to see. You are hilarious. I see you on Twitter. You are a funny human, and I'm glad that I have gotten to know you over the last year and a half, just via online. And to get to see you go onto this TV show and rise is really nice. And I can't wait to see what else comes for you. Whether it's being a touring throughout Newfoundland show with Irma Gerd and just feeling your oats going onto this show, or just sitting at home with your drag bestie talking to some random person in Alberta. I'm glad to see that there will be things coming for you. I promise it. You may not feel that way right now, but there will be. Just wait.
No, I absolutely do though, because like that happened 5 months ago, and that was 3 people who I hugely respect who just did not see it for me in that moment. But this summer of work and fall of work I've had ever since has been some of the best work I've had in my entire career. And it was before anyone knew I was cast on the show. So I'm in a good place right now.
I'm glad to hear that. That's really good to hear that you're having at least this positive mentality going through and seeing that things are kind of shining through for you.
Yeah. And it's like when you go home first on Call Me Mother, the whole world doesn't know about it, like on Drag Race, where like the tea gets out as soon as it's over.
Yeah.
So it felt like keeping this like big dirty secret for 5 months, hyping everyone up about me to know that I don't even get past the first episode. So now that that's out of the way and I can just move forward and have a good goddamn time watching the rest of the season, yeah, it's easy, boys.
Do you have any plans to be posting any looks or anything for the future episodes to come?
Oh, absolutely. Practically every week I'm going to post a look.
Hell
There's
yeah.
some background hints all around us. Oh, I also wish that, because like for tea, they only showed us doing the part where we all talked about why we belong to one of their houses. They asked us so many questions. Like all the mothers, because there were 6 of us, they all had a spot in the house. They had individual questions for practically everyone, which couldn't make the edit, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And something I wish made the edit was Peppermint asked the whole group of us to talk about something we left behind in our drag career, as if like something we used to do at the beginning or something we felt at the beginning that we don't deal with anymore. And I was gonna say imposter syndrome, because I don't always feel like I fit in drag spaces because of the drag that I do. But right before it got to me, I switched it to I left behind the big city and had a moment talking about what it's been like to do drag in Newfoundland for queer people in Newfoundland since the pandemic and how much that's meant to me. And Peppermint leaned her arm over and said, I just got chills.
Oh.
So it was a really special moment. And Jenna spoke to me backstage after, being like, that meant a lot to her as someone who used to live in Toronto and now lives back home in Sturgeon Falls, Ontario, and is like a huge, big, important queer person there. Like, it matters in small places, it matters in big places.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing that representation regardless is what's really important, and putting yourself out there. You will be the face for a few other people, so keep that in mind always, that there are people who have been inspired by you.
No, I know.
I am like, I've always been such a big fan of you. I'm going to get real sappy because my son is in cancer, so hold up everything. Newfoundland is like, ever since you moved here and you broke into the scene, I've been so incredibly enamored by you and inspired by you. And don't you dare, because I'm going to cry too. I'm just such a big fan of everything that you do. And just seeing all the love that you were embraced by last night at the bar, it's like, you make such a big impact. And I hope you know that you're so loved and you're so cherished and you're so important here. And I'm rambling now, but you're some good. My God.
I love you.
You're some treasure. I love you.
You're some treasure.
Oh, that's adorable. If you ever got called back for a Call Me Mother All-Star season, which I think they should totally do, especially like with all the early outs, would you do it?
I absolutely would. Like,
yeah.
I kind of wanted to see how it played out on the episode, because when you go home first, you're not told anything. No feedback, no reason why. So I've been waiting to find out. I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? And then I watched it, I was like, oh, pretty good. So I was like, I'd do that again. Why not? And it might have been hinted to me by someone that I should maybe consider trying again. So who knows?
I know that someone from season 1 definitely tried for season 2, so it doesn't hurt. You never know.
Yeah, I know that as well.
They've made it very obvious on their Twitter.
Slightly.
I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I honestly thought we would be filming for a little bit longer than this. You are a fantastic drag human, and I'm glad that we and the world have gotten to see you, because you can watch Call Me Mother on Out TV in Australia, UK, America, and Canada. So it is quite the and I think Ireland has like its own separate subscription
Ireland
service.
In the UK is like the Fruit TV moment, because the Fruit's on TV.
Is he fruity?
I will say everyone on the East Coast needs to be repping for Maya Fox now, because in that first episode we said to each other, neither of us can go home first. And obviously that was wrong. So we're fucking rooting for Maya Fox out here.
Team Maya.
Yeah. And you can actually catch Maya Fox on next week's episode of Call Me After, as I have them next week.
Word.
Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited I got to be the first person to do this. Thank you, Madam Daddy, for being with me today, so I'm not here alone.
Yes, thank you, both of you, for having me. This was such a treat. Just gabbing about the television programs.
We will definitely have to have you on another future season. My co-host Mira May was unfortunately not able to make it for today. They are a huge fan of yours. We've been both following you for some time, so we will have to have you back on another episode or another season, just to have a nice little gab.
I'm game. I'm not on any other episodes of the TV show, but I'll be on this one.
You have a wonderful night, and thank you again for being here, and nice to meet you, Madam Daddy.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cheers.